Hey everybody, welcome to Monday Night Live. I'm Brittany Howard, Diamond Ambassador, and I am so excited and proud to be interviewing tonight Emily Haas, who just hit Senior Ruby. She is also one of my dear and closest friends in the whole wide world, and so I definitely could not be any more proud of her than I am. And so her story inspires the heck out of me. And I am positive that you are going to feel the same way. So, Emily, I'm going to let you go ahead and share your timeline. Tell us a little bit about your plexus journey so far.
Okay, so my timeline is quite a bit longer than probably everybody on this call, but Brittany and Chris Holtzclaw. But tomorrow is actually my 6-year anniversary with Plexus. I realized that earlier today, and I was like, well, how fitting that we're here tonight. But so 6 years ago, on April 21st, 2015, I joined Plexus with the full-on intention of being a diamond and being a diamond very quickly. Well, we have not made it to diamond yet, and it has not been quick, but it is coming, so y'all hang on for that. But I made a little timeline, and do you want me to show that thing that I seen, Brittany? Did you see it? I have a little timeline chart, but I'll just tell y'all because it'll be easier. So I joined in April. That July, I went silver. Back then, we didn't know to do everybody wholesale because that was a smart thing to do. So in July, I went silver. The following April, so April 2016, I hit gold, and that was a huge deal. Very excited about that. The following April, so 1 year later, I hit senior gold, and I can still remember exactly where I was working for that. I was in my bedroom at mom and daddy's house on a Sunday afternoon, just like busting it out for senior gold. That was a huge, huge deal. And then, so let's see, that was April 2017. That September of 2017, I hit ruby. And that was the fastest I had ever grown. We were having fun and doing all the things, and Ruby was phenomenal. I was on the phone with Christina, I think, when I actually hit Ruby, so that was super fun to have that. And then just this last month, almost 3 years later, or 3 years and some, I don't even know how long it was, but anyways, a long time later, I hit senior Ruby. So Ruby, September 2017, March 2021, senior Ruby. And I'm just going to tell y'all, it feels just as good in March of 2021 as I think it would have in March of 2018. So keep going, because it doesn't matter when you get there, as long as you get there, it feels good. So that's my timeline.
That's awesome, girl. Okay, so I didn't put this question in the thing.
Throw it at me.
Okay. So, all of these years you've been working and you show up. Like, it's not like you just been half behind, but one big toe in and one big toe out. I mean, you were all in from the beginning. You've been all in. You have shown up to every single call, every single event, every leaders retreat, every Ruby retreat you could, every convention, every book study. I mean, you have not missed a beat. Did you ever feel like during this time that this is for nothing? Why do I keep showing up? Why do I keep doing this? Why am I is it like, did you ever feel like I'm doing all of the things they're telling me to do, but it's not working?
I did occasionally feel like I was doing all the things, but was not seeing the fruit of it. But I never once thought, well, maybe I'll just quit getting on the calls, or maybe I'll just quit showing up, because I knew that if I kept doing things, I saw other people doing things and they were getting the results I wanted. So I knew that if I kept doing things, at some point I would have the things. And so I showed up. And y'all, I'm just going to tell you, I don't have a lot of I don't know what the word is, but I don't have a lot of wiggle room for excuses when it comes to not showing up to things, not being on calls. If there what I'm honest to God, y'all, if there's a live event within driving distance over the past 6 years, you can about bet unless I was dead or somebody real close to me was dead, I was there. And that's the truth. Like, drove to Orlando for corporate sip and see. I mean, we drove to Orlando 3 hours to sit for an hour and listen to Alec talk. And it was totally worth it. And I've been to Atlanta countless times, and Charlotte, and where all have we been? Nashville, all over the place. Because leaders are born at events. And if you want to be a leader, which I did, still do, still growing, still working to be, top notch, you have to be there. You have to show up. So no, I never thought, I mean, I kind of did think, doing the things, what is happening? But it was never, I never had that thought of I'm wasting my time or this is just not going to happen. I hadn't really had that kind of thought.
Yeah. So that's amazing. First of all, that's amazing. That definitely makes you unique and special, in my opinion. And one thing, guys, that I really, really love about Emily is her emotional maturity. Because over the last, how long did you say? 6 years?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
Over the last 6 years, there's been a lot of rank ups, right? And she has watched her friends rank up. She has watched her friends go to Hawaii, earn shopping sprees, go on leadership trips. She has watched these things and cheered every single person on the entire time, and it was genuine, like literally genuine. Not one time did anybody ever get a vibe that Emily was jealous of them. She truly, from the bottom of her heart, is happy for every single person who is achieving success. And also, this first quarter sprint, she just swept her first contest. She is now a top prize earner. So congratulations, Emily. Tell us a little bit about your team now. What's your team like now?
Freaking amazing. Oh, I love them so much. They are, I was telling Brittany this a little while ago, but I feel like I've had a couple of people along and along, that I felt like were my kind of people, like I could see us hanging out forever, whatever. But these girls that I have now, they're just my people, like I can see us in Mexico this year, girls, hint. I can see Hawaii like forever and ever, just going and hanging out and being together and having fun. And y'all know having fun is real important to me. And they're just my people, but they are leaders and they have integrity and they love people so well, but they're really big dreamers. I'm a huge dreamer, and these girls are big dreamers, and they're not just dreaming and talking. They're dreaming and their feet are moving, and their feet are moving fast, and they're bringing other people in with them, which has always been like my ideal, so I just love them to pieces, and I'm really happy that they're here.
I'm really happy they are too. They really are good people. I love them. Okay. So we're super excited about this amazing team that you have now built, which also has a really good culture. You guys genuinely love hanging out with each other. We could see that Saturday. I felt like a mother sitting off to the side watching my kids grow up. I saw you over there. We were at Cercheros and my whole family came. So that would be 2 tables in and of itself. So I didn't get to sit with everybody, and that was not intentional, but I could see Emily, and they had pushed a bunch of tables together because we had a team training that was local, and just seeing her in the midst of her team and all those fantastic people that she's attracted and that are now all just doing this together. I mean, it really is a blessing to watch. It seriously is. And I'm trying not to cry. So anyway, I forgot what I was going to ask you now. All right, we'll go to the next question. So tell us your very favorite parts of Plexus and what do you love about this business?
Man, my favorite parts of plexus, the people, absolutely the people. Um, y'all just fill my heart right up. And that's probably why I show up partly to everything because I just love the people. Oh, y'all are everything to me, seriously. Um, Plexus fuels my need for adventure. And so I really enjoy that because we get to have fun and we get to travel and we get to do all the things and we get to do it with our favorite people. And most of the time, we don't even have to pay for it. So it's like all the best of all the things. I just seriously love it. I'm looking at some things I wrote down up here because I don't want to forget anything. The growth is definitely a favorite part, and I would have never even thought to say that, 6 years ago, because I hadn't even picked up a book since college, much less read a book. And now I'll be reading all the books all the time, and just growing and learning, and it's fun. And those are my favorite things about plexus, I think. um my favorite things about the business are the income, for sure, because I'm a dreamer, like I said, and big dreams take big money. And I have never had big money, but I have always planned on having big money, but I didn't know how it was going to get there. So this is definitely a vehicle to just make all my dreams come true, but not just my dreams, all my people that I love, their dreams. And so we can dream together and go do all the things together. And that makes it way more fun because dreaming by yourself and going and doing things by yourself is just not that great. I mean, you can have a moment, but long term is so much better with just all your people that you love. So the income for sure, because of the freedom and the weight that it's lifted from our family has been incredible, huge. And then honestly, like kind of like Brittany was saying a while ago, literally watching all the people that I love go and do and be successful. That is probably my favorite thing. Because, over 6 years, I've seen a lot of rank ups, a lot of people close to me ranking up and going to Hawaii. I've watched a lot of Hawaii trips, y'all. And I genuinely love, love, love seeing everybody rank up. Like last year, when every single person on the planet I felt like ranked up, I was so happy for them. And it just does my heart good because I want to see people living out their dreams. And so, probably that. I just get to be happy for people.
Yes,
That's
I
what I
can
love.
see all of that. All right, I remember what I was going to ask you. So we were talking about how fantastic your team is now. So I'm sure everybody is thinking, Emily, where did you find this amazing team?
Well, have y'all heard that saying, if you had 2 gold bricks in your backyard, would you keep digging until you found them? Because that's what I did. And if Brittany's told me one time, Emily, you just got to keep looking, you're going to find your people. And I'd be like, Brittany, where are my people? Because I'm not finding them. And I've talked to a lot of people over the past 6 years. Where are my people? Well, I found them and I love them. And come to find out, one of them is here local. I've never knew any of these girls, by the way. All Cold Market. Let me just put that out there. All Cold Market. One of them is here local in town. The others are in Baxley, which is an hour from where I live, and just kind of around. But you just have to keep digging. Because Lori Welch said it years and years ago. It's a numbers game, in the grand scheme of things. The more people you talk to, the more people you'll find. And so I had to talk to a lot of people, and I just finally found them. And a lot of it really had to do with my brand and on social media. One of them came to me out of the blue. I had never recruited her ever. Another one I had talked to a year ago, and we kind of just fell off, dropped the ball there. And she watched me over a year and got back with me and was like, hey, send me that video again that you sent me last year. I think I'm ready to do this. And I was like, okay. And then just go. So brand yourself well, y'all, because it's real important. What you post about, you're going to attract. And so That's it.
Yeah.
That's where I found them. Lots of digging.
Yeah.
Keep going.
And once you found them, how did you turn them into business builders? Well, you said one came to you, but would you say you found these people, or would you say that you created business builders? What do
I
you think?
created all of the business builder part. They came to me for products, but knew about this business because I post heavily about it. But I definitely created them. Cast Vision really strong for both of them, and the other levels. But just Cast Vision really strong, and three-way calls,
Mm-hmm.
and told them to dream and dream bigger. And I sent fast start math. One of them I talked to, and we talked to on the phone, and she was like, I mean, I don't know, maybe we'll see. And we got off the phone, and I worked out a little math, and I said, I mean, just in case you're interested, I thought this was some great information, so maybe you would too. And I sent her fast start math, and I was like, 3 friends in your first 30 days, this is what you're looking at. She was silver in 2 days. That's all I'm saying. Fast start math is real interesting.
Yes. All right. So I also find it very interesting and not coincidental that you have so many on fire business builders right now. You are every day, I feel like you're asking us to go boost somebody's first post. And I mean, you guys, it's not hard to see why. You guys can hear the excitement and the passion in Emily's voice. And she's been like this the whole time. Okay. So her belief has not wavered. Her emotions have gone up and down. Her belief has not. And so I mean that brings a harvest. It really does. And you can't cast vision. She's saying, well, I cast vision. I create these people. I cast vision real big. I get them to dream big. You can't do that if you don't have that. And Emily has that. Okay. If you don't have that, you can build it. You can build your belief. You can learn to dream big, and you can learn how to cast vision. All right. Next question. What are the biggest challenges that you have faced in your business, and how did you overcome?
Oh, the first biggest challenge, probably the longest term biggest challenge, has been discipline. Um, I've never been what you would call a disciplined person. Maybe disciplined at being undisciplined. I don't know. But to me, discipline always just sounded like a box and being confined, and I don't know what else, but it just sounded really strict. And I'm more of a kind of go with the flow, like free spirit. Let's get in the car and go wherever, kind of person. And so to me, discipline sounded the opposite of what I wanted my life to be. But what I have learned and discovered, if y'all hadn't read Atomic Habits, go read it like tonight, is that discipline is really the cornerstone for freedom.
That's good.
It's the disciplined people who have all the freedom because they have all they have time because they're using their time so intentional. So discipline was definitely my first and biggest challenge. My other challenges, I would say, were
Before you go to the other challenges, what baby steps did you implement to start developing discipline?
well, I started with working out, honestly.
I knew you were
That
going
was
to say that.
because I'm not really a workout kind of girl, historically speaking. But when I was reading that book, Atomic Habits, he said that your habits can't be like goal based, because once you get to a goal, then what do? You probably quit with the habit because you already reached that goal. But he said your habits, when they become identity based, they're part of who you are. It continues like lifetime. And I was like, well, I'm this health girl now. Yay, plexus. And I really need to be this health and fitness kind of girl. I mean, I'm not trying to be like a bodybuilder, but I need to at least look like I, take care of myself. And so I needed to work out. And that was where I started, was with just working out. I'm committed 30 minutes, 5 days a week. That's what I was going to do. And so I shared about it on Facebook, and then it became this thing, and people were like messaging me, like if I didn't get my post up, hey, what are you doing? I'm looking forward to your post today. I was like, well, dang it, now I've got public accountability, not just accountability. Like the whole World Wide Web is looking at my posts, so now I have very public accountability. And so it just became this thing, and it really seeped into a lot of different areas in my life. I've always been consistent with posting on Facebook, probably just because I love social media. But that really just catapulted discipline in a lot of other areas. So,
Yes, I love that so much. Okay, so when you started these workouts, not being this workout loving type of person, just so y'all know, Emily does not like to sweat.
not at all.
She's prissy. She does not like to sweat. And when me and Christina would have fitness conversations, she'd be like, there's no way, that does not sound like fun. So anyways, so did you just jump right in and start killing yourself and just sweating it all up every single day? What did you do? What did you implement that was stick-toable?
Yeah, no, we did not jump in and kill ourselves, because I don't like to sweat, y'all. If there's a purpose, maybe, but not just to do it, okay? But I did some research, first of all, and I found this app called Fit On, and they had these workouts and these cute little girls and their yoga mats, and I was like, well, I can do that, So I started real lightly with Pilates. And Pilates is not light, let me just tell y'all. It can be real hard and kick your butt, but there's not a whole lot of sweat involved. So I was sold on that. But I started, easy, and I would do like a longer stretch session and then a smaller workout session, but I got my 30 minutes in. And so then eventually we started flip-flopping those times, and I'd have a little stretch and a longer workout. So you have work yourself into it. Don't try to kill yourself, because here's the thing. If I know this about myself, if I don't enjoy something, like if I'm literally dreading it, I'm not going to keep doing it. It's just not going to happen, because I need to enjoy what I'm doing. I mean, it can be hard and push me, but I can't dread it. So I started, I did start smaller and then just build up. And now I'm even lifting weights.
Ooh,
Christina.
Get it. So, watch out, Christina.
Said, why am I not seeing muscles? And she was like, you need some weight. Here we are.
All right, so how would you apply that to someone about their business? If they're saying, Emily, I struggle with discipline, how am I going to build this business? What would you tell them to do consistently?
I would say do your IPA every day, right? And you don't have to do massive numbers, y'all. You don't have to be talking to 38 people a day, especially starting out. Do 3 new people a day, 3 follow-ups a day. Like, find a number that you feel okay with, not comfortable with, but you feel okay with, but that may be going to push you just a little bit, and do it every day for a week. And then add another week, and then add another week, and then add another person, and then add another person. Like, build your numbers up. But you don't have to start huge, y'all. Like, you can really start and just grow as you go. Yeah, and be consistent posting on Facebook. 1 post a day. Anybody can do that, y'all. We have lots of posts. So
that's so good. Great tip. All right, what were the other challenges, and how did you overcome?
Other challenge, people quitting, because stinks when people quit. Not so much like product users. I'm talking like business builders, when business builders quit, because everybody comes on and they, yeah, I want to do this. I want to be a diamond. I'm like, okay, well, let's go be diamonds. And then everybody's feet don't match their mouth, y'all. And that can be frustrating. Some people you kind of expect to see it coming, right? Because you can see patterns in their life. But some people you just get invested in, and you want it so bad for them. And you just know, if they would just do this or do that or read this book or whatever it is, that they could go all the way because you just see the potential. And so those people, it hurts when they quit, because no matter how bad you want it for them, I mean, they have to want it for themselves. And so that has been a challenge. Um, and then, I mean, I've had some major goals that we did not hit. Um, I did not get to go to Ruby Retreat in 2019 after going the year before. That was the biggest, hardest, I mean, shot me down that I've faced in my 6 years.
How did you feel?
Oh, God bless America. Um, Anything not positive. That is how I felt. At first, I just probably failure at first, and it was very public, which is what added a lot. It was a lot of pressure, I guess, because I had been the year before. Everybody knew I was Ruby. And so everybody fully expects me to be there, in 2019. And then I wasn't there, because you have to hit, if you don't know, you had to hit Ruby so many months out of that year to be able to go to Ruby Retreat. And I didn't. My points had dropped and I didn't get to go. And so it was a very public, like, humiliation, I guess, because especially, the trips are everything to me. And so that made it so hard. And through personal growth, following, in that year of 2019, I did a lot of personal growth, because we desperately needed it. But what I came to realize, probably in the fall of 2019, that I hadn't even been able to verbalize, was that I was really feeling shame. Lots and lots and lots of shame over that. And that year was rough. It was really rough.
What
But
kept you committed during these difficult times? What kept you committed? Because you still never missed a beat. You never missed a call. You always showed up.
yeah, always. Emotionally, I was a train wreck. It was rough, but I still knew where I was going. Like, I'm not, when I say I joined, the day I joined, I was determined to be a diamond. I'm not kidding. Like, I literally joined to be a diamond. And so I knew where I was going, and that was huge. But staying plugged in is what kept me going. Um, you know how they say church is like a hospital for the broken kind of thing? That is how these calls in our community was to me, because I was completely, like, shattered, just broken. Still knew where I was going, but I was in a million pieces. And this community is what just kept me going. I mean, it really is. And sideline relationships, y'all, if you don't have them, go get them. Go find you some friends and dig in hard with them, because these girls just have no idea. I mean, they literally kept me going. And I knew, I knew God put me here, first of all, like, without a doubt. God put me here. And it would happen. I mean, he tells us if we plant seeds, they're gonna grow, right? We will see fruit. And so I knew this, and I'm telling you, I was in a bad, bad place. And so all of the good thoughts didn't really come until, I don't know, end of 2019, early 2020. It was just a lot of digging, realizing things where I needed to grow and learn. And I had to deal with all that shame. I mean, I just had to dig and dig and dig and deal with that. Dare to Lead phenomenal book. That opened my eyes to a whole lot of things. But really, it's just the community. I think I, I I don't know where I would be without the community, because my tendency is to retreat. And y'all saw that, like just retreat and not communicate a whole lot. But I just had to show up. And the thing is, my team that I had at the time, they didn't know what was going on. They didn't know what was going on because I was still showing up. I mean, I could have had 750 points and they didn't know, because I just showed up all the time. But behind the scenes, it was sidelines and just our people.
And upline, you forget
Yeah. Yes, my upline is really, really fantastic. The best out there.
Okay, so during this dark time, what are some thoughts that you had to battle, and how did you battle them? Like, how did you push through it? I mean, I know you're saying show up, but like, what were you thinking?
So, well, the shame, like I told you, which is awful. But there was a lot of, what the heck am I doing? Like, I have to be doing something wrong. What am I doing wrong? How do I fix it? And with the shame part of it, I just felt like I had no value to add, none at all. And that was hard for me, and my confidence dropped. And I've always been pretty confident. I mean, I've never really had a confidence issue in life. But my confidence dropped, and I just would think like, why would anybody want to follow me? I gotta be like, to get back where I need to be, to get to diamond, I have to, heck, to even get back to senior gold on some days. And I was ruby at this point, but to get to where I want to be, I have to recruit business builders. How am I going to recruit business builders and leaders when I'm sitting over here where I'm at? I mean, how is this even going to happen? Those were a lot of the thoughts. I just kind of worthless, like I didn't have anything to add. And that was hard. That was real hard.
How do you feel now?
I mean, freaking fantastic. I got all the value to add. What y'all need to know? No, I'm just so excited because I know God put me here, and I knew that He didn't bring me to Ruby to drop back down to just sit there and struggle for all my dang life. I knew that because He doesn't get any glory out of that. And here we are. And it's fantastic.
Can you see how, even though the struggle was hard while you're in it, can you see how, looking back, that was working together for your good?
Yes. And that statement and many other similar ones got me through a lot of days. During that time, I was introduced, and some of y'all have heard me say this, but I was introduced to that song, This Is How I Fight My Battles, that song. And that comes from, it says, when you're struggling, put on the garment of praise, right? And that's how we fight our battles. And so I love music. Y'all know I love music, and I love songs, and I love lyrics. And I just dug in hard to that, and I made me a playlist, and it was handpicked songs that really spoke to where I was in that moment. And all, somebody outside could take these songs and they would just be like worship songs, or whatever. But I saw every lyric through the lens of my business. every lyric through the lens of my business. And I would sit here, right here in this spot, and I would sing and I would cry and I mean, it was just, God used all of that to bring me to him. And that was, the ultimate, because I had to dig in. I had to dig into him. And it really was so much of just these songs. And I have some of them printed out here, but here's one. This one is called Prophesy Your Promise. And I love this song. It's Brian and Katie Torwalt, if y'all don't know it. But it says, I found you in the middle of my mess. You'd been here all along. Open arms and open heart. You called me in. You didn't hesitate at all. And the lies I once believed, they crumble with the weight of your truth. And the fear that gripped my heart is arrested so I can see you. When I only see in part, I prophesy your promise. I believe you, God, because you finished what you started. I will trust you in the process. And that's where I was, like I knew he put me here, and I knew that there were lies, going through my head. And I knew that his truth always wins over lies. And that he was here, and if I was faithful, that he would be faithful. And here we are. And I'm not done. We got emerald and sapphire and diamond, and Avery and Ginger are like planning what we're gonna do when we're double diamond vacations and all this kind of stuff, what house we're gonna have. We got a lot more to do, but I knew if I was faithful that he would be faithful. And so those songs carried me through. That playlist on repeat all the time, and it's still there. I still have it, and I've added to it since then. And there are a lot of happy songs now, like here we are, not today, Satan, that one's on here, all that kind of stuff. And I'll just tell y'all this recently, what has this year specifically, I felt like I was in, that story of Elijah and the dry bones, right? That's where I felt. And my team, in my business felt like dry bones. Like I have people and they're here, but I feel like it's just dead. And what is happening? And I literally would get out my Bible and read out loud those verses about the valley of dry bones and him speaking to them and them coming to life. And I would read that out loud over my business before I started working every day. And I would sing like, the window's probably shaking, blasting Rattle and Graves in the Gardens by Elevation through the lens of my business. And I don't feel like we're dead anymore. I feel like we're alive, and it's so fantastic.
That's awesome, girl. Best line the whole call is God used all of that to draw me to him. And that makes me cry. All right. Last question. What is your best advice right now to somebody who feels like they are stuck in their business?
Stay plugged in. For sure. Stay plugged in. Because when you get alone that all those stories start forming in your brain that are not, they're not true. They are not true. So stay plugged in, get around people, don't miss these calls. Do not miss the calls. And outside of the calls, plug into some people, plug in. People that will speak truth over you and that will push you. Brittany told me 1.5 million times, you got to keep looking for your people. You're going to find them. Trust the process. It's coming. Just pouring belief into me. Christina would say, Emily, if you would get out of your way, you will be a diamond. Get out of your way. And Michelle would just say, she told me that she would call me, she would message me just prayers, like praying for me, messaging me. And she told me one day, I don't even know why, what was going on, but she said, Emily, the same spirit that was in Jesus is in you. There's nothing you can't do. Go do it. Find people that pour into you, y'all. Stay connected and do it. The other thing would be feed your faith. Read some good books, y'all. Find whatever it is you're struggling with. We're all got different things. So find something and feed your faith and lean into Jesus. I mean, keep showing up, learning, growing. Build your brand. That's what I would say. Build your brand, because you're going to attract whatever you're putting out there. So build your brand. And just know, if one person's done it, you can do it. Keep going. Remove quit from your vocabulary. Mm-hmm. Remove it. That's probably my other best one.
Awesome. Girl, this call is going to be watched over and over and over. And I'm so excited for you. Emily, I've always been proud of you. I have always, always, always been proud to call you my friend. But this is super fun to see. Super duper fun. And I love you, girl, a ton. So I'm going to stop recording in case anybody wants to unmute.